theme.
Sounds pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Spoilers and offensive content to come, not just from us.
Oh, there's much to discuss today. More than I thought there was going to be. Then Dave was like, we got to make a list. And there's a lot on this list. So let's get right into it. This is Two Fat Guys Talk, episode 107. I'll think of a title later. My name's Carlos.
This is Dave.
And let's just jump right in. There was a Nintendo Direct on the 14th? The 13th. The 13th. It was Wednesday, right? It was on the 13th.
It was this week.
Yeah. It was on the 13th, and there was a whole bunch of new and exciting games announced. Mario Maker 2!
Yeah. Congratulations! You're finally getting up to where PC players were about 15 years ago, Nintendo.
Even if the editor has some catching up to do, there are still some things only it does.
My problem is, and really there isn't.
There's a ton.
But here's the thing. My biggest problem with Mario Maker 1 and Mario Maker 2 is they actually had the balls to sell it at a full price retail.
Yeah, you get infinite replayability.
No.
With a worldwide network.
By us doing all the work for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect scheme.
This should be a $30 game, not a $70.
You're probably right. I'm still excited.
And on top of that, this is basically an expansion onto Mario Maker 1.
No, there's a new interface. A new UI that you don't need to touch. I think that's actually pretty important because since this has to work on a television without a touchscreen accompaniment,
thankfully,
there has to be a D-pad where it's kind of like when they were making Halo Wars and they're like, how do we make an RTS work on a D-pad, basically, right? So that is pretty significant, and stuff I've wanted, like controlling the auto scrollers a lot better, and the new enemies and slopes and stuff.
Tall levels, being able to do water and stuff above. Like, don't get me wrong, it's neat, and I think that people are going to be able to do a much better job of the levels they wanted to do. I'm just afraid that we're going to be getting not the next iteration of what it should be, but this is just going to be basically a fresh coat of paint, a couple extra little options, and that's it. Like I totally expect Nintendo to be like, yeah, we'll give you this, and maybe in Mario Maker 3 we'll give you everything you actually wanted.
I mean,
it is Nintendo.
It's not an unjustified concern. You are right. I'm really happy with even the features they've already announced, not even counting what may come down the pipe. No pun intended. But it
is a slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope. That was a good one. No, I'm pretty excited for it. But there are actually a few things to be excited about in that Direct. I was not expecting it to be as hype as it was. I sure as hell was not expecting it to end in a full-on complete overhaul remake of one of my favorite Zelda games, one of the only ones I've played through multiple times, and that's Link's Awakening.
I know you've gone through Link to the Past multiple times too.
Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and The Link Between Worlds are the only Zelda games I've played more than once. All the others I've either played once or have not cared. I'm not as in love with Zelda as a lot of other people are, but the Zeldas I like, I love.
Did you ever get around to playing Breath of the Wild?
No, I will. I was a little discouraged because I asked Nintendo if they could just transfer my purchase over to Switch. Because I never touched the Wii U one. If it was Sony or Microsoft, they would have let me do it.
Yeah. No.
But Nintendo, they were unwilling. They apologized. They were like, we did ask. We asked our higher-ups. They said, no, we're very sorry.
You know, that's actually a great concession that they actually asked.
No,
that's different.
I talked to people at Nintendo, and I told them, I know if you can't do it, you can't do it. Just be really nice. But
borrow my copy.
Oh, yeah. I always brag about how you can't borrow any of my games because they're digital, and then in a bit of irony, I would just borrow yours. The offer is appreciated, but it is something I want to get, not just for myself, but also because I know that Kiki and possibly Poe want to play it too, so... It's something I wouldn't want to keep it away from you because I wanted to play it more if you wanted to jump back on it. But thank you, Dave.
But Link's Awakening is actually one of the few Zelda games I haven't played. That and the Minish Cap games I never played, mainly because back then I didn't have the system and didn't really care about the whole portable scene so much back then. So Link's Awakening I will buy. There is one thing I'm kind of annoyed with Link's Awakening, and it's not Link's Awakening's fault.
What is it?
Well, they obviously use the engine from the latest
A Link Between Worlds?
Link Between Worlds game. So what this means is if Nintendo wanted to, they could have put that on fucking Switch.
It is on Switch. Oh, sorry, you mean A Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds.
I guess.
I would have... look, I am not portable guy anymore.
I know you're not.
I bought the Switch for TV use. So, looking at that, I'm just like, you motherfuckers, why can't I have it on Switch? However, in their defense, the 3D on the new 3DS for that game was amazing.
Yeah, the new 3DS 3D, I think I've talked about it before, how they gave up on the 3D when they finally got it right.
Exactly. They did.
It's such a shame,
They released the 2DS, a cheaper model, and they're like, well, that's the new standard.
Yeah.
You mother... Okay. We brought that before. Link's Awakening looks amazing, and I will absolutely buy it.
It is one of the top 2 best Game Boy games. I'm not even joking. I still go back. I have a GBA SP, yeah. And I have a copy of Link's Awakening, and I still occasionally go play it.
Let's also mention that intro video to the trailer.
Oh my god.
Classic Nintendo Power looking Link.
When I saw that,
it was awesome.
When I saw that, I was thinking to myself, oh man, I'm not lucky enough for this to be Link's Awakening. And then I saw the ship and I'm like, oh. And then my hands just went to my mouth. And I've seen other reactions online where the majority of people's hands just go to their mouth. They're like, they can't believe it.
Yep. Well, look, Nintendo has the chance here. They've got the new engine and everything else. There is no reason not to do this. No. Okay, Nintendo, you're not listening to this, obviously, but I want Link to the Past in the new engine.
Sure. There was some disappointment behind the announcement of Link's Awakening. I saw some people who were disappointed by it because they wanted it to be Link's Awakening, but in the same style as Breath of the Wild. Like having young Link go through Koholint Island, but it's a full landscape like Breath of the Wild. Okay. Where you could climb the walls, do everything.
I get it, but Nintendo has already kind of mentioned they're working on the next Zelda game. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I would much prefer that Nintendo put its AAA group into developing and giving us a new story, as little as Zelda actually gives us, granted.
I 100% agree with that.
Rather than grabbing an old story and giving it in a completely new format.
I 100% agree. I also think that Zelda has, for many years now, been both about its 3D titles and its 2D titles.
Yes.
There are both. They've already had a big 3D one. Mm-hmm. One is coming. The next 2D one they chose to do was a remake of an old classic with some no doubt fresh new features. I already saw in the original Link's Awakening, since you only had an A and B button, you could only assign up to 2 skills. And a first for the series is that the sword and shield were among them. So if you could not have your sword out if you wanted. And one of the big features that you had in Link's Awakening that you didn't have in a lot of other 2D Zeldas is the ability to jump. Because you could equip the feather and it would let you jump over obstacles. And in that trailer, I saw Link with the sword and the shield, which would normally be separate buttons, and he was jumping over things. So they're definitely adding improvements. Plus, Link's Awakening was kind of like the first Zelda in that there was no smooth scrolling. The screen scrolled one at a time, and clearly that's not the case in this new one.
Progress.
There are people surprised that there were Goombas and Chain Chomps in them, and I'm like, guys, there was Goombas and Chain Chomps in the original Link's Awakening as well. So
let's kind of go down the list here. I mean, we got Link's Awakening, we got Astral Chain.
Astral Chain looks boss, Dave.
I mean, it's platinum. What do you expect?
I jokingly said it looks like Crackdown meets Ava, but actually good. And, of course, that was a little ribbing. I know you're a big Crackdown fan. It wasn't a ribbing at the Ava part, but...
I'm a big fan of Crackdown 1.
Sure.
Crackdown 2 was garbage.
It's still very Crackdown meets Ava.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, if you prefer Crackdown meets Yuki Yuna, I guess we could do that with a little bit of Nier Automata, which the director of as well, right? So
there's Daemon Ex Machina.
There was a demo of that released.
I have not had a chance to try it, but you have.
Yes, it plays better on a TV, first of all, because it uses every single button you got.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a MechWarrior Lite type of game, which I was not expecting. When we initially had a trailer, it almost gave me an Ava vibe. But it's actually more about, like, you creating a character and you're a mercenary. They even say things like, if you stop being profitable, you may not get to keep your mech, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
So I made a character in it. I named her Jorm, and I gave her a very psychedelic outfit.
Cool.
And then I went into the training mission, and yeah, it's definitely something that I kind of wish it had its own associated flight stick. Because it doesn't have things like throttle. You move more like a Dynasty Warriors Gundam game where you just move the stick, but you still have jump and boost options. You have 2 different weapon buttons, more than 2 actually. You have a radar. You have mission objectives. So it's definitely like a console MechWarrior Lite on the Switch. It's actually pretty neat.
What I've heard a bunch of people saying about it is now. I fall into the MechWarrior Elite category. There has never been a console version of MechWarrior that has quite gotten things right.
Sure.
Now,
you should maybe give this demo a try.
That being said, Microsoft, when they had the license, did release a couple of console-exclusive MechWarrior style games where you were kind of in an elemental battlesuit. No, don't know if you remember those from the original MechWarrior series.
Yeah, vaguely.
And your whole thing was that you would kind of bash your way into a cockpit, hook up via a couple of like almost assimilation sort of things, and then drive the mech around until it was all beaten up and blown up, and then you jump back out and go on to the next guy, try to take over their mech kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The controls remind me very much of that.
Sure.
Not a bad thing. But, yeah, MechWarrior needs a proper flight stick with everything else. And, funny enough, we're seeing a whole bunch of MechWarrior clones come out this year. Ahead of the first actual MechWarrior game, MechWarrior 5, that we're getting in...
20-some years?
It's at least 15.
At least 15, yeah.
And this is a proper, single-player, done... to the nines game for PC, and I'm just giddy.
As someone who has been looking forward to a TIE Fighter thing, both Daemon Ex Machina and MechWarrior 5 fascinate me. Daemon Ex Machina, though, you may like it. I'm
going to try it.
This might be your cup of tea, so I recommend trying that demo out.
Speaking of games that are right up my alley, we got Bloodstained finally coming out this summer.
Yeah, finally. That game is...
It's been in development. Okay, hasn't been in development hell, but they've had to delay it to make sure it's up to the quality people expect, and I can respect that.
That trailer was pretty boss. I have my reservations with the Igavania games, but I can't deny they are some of my favorites, regardless.
The what?
Okay. Iga is the Castlevania director who has been the director since, like, Rondo of Blood.
Okay.
He has his own ideas for Castlevania that involve, like... large, sprawling, connected hub worlds, leveling, that kind of thing, which kind of fly counter to traditional Castlevania.
Yes.
This is not wrong of him, that's just how he prefers his games, right? What is wrong is this whole removing of Sonia Belmont from the timeline for kind of misogynistic reasons, but that's a whole other podcast. Regardless, Bloodstained does look like a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to it for a bit. I still have to play that prequel game that's supposed to mimic old Castlevania.
And it really does.
I do want to play that before Bloodstained comes out. Yeah, that was a really cool trailer they showed. That definitely mixes up like Symphony of the Night, but off the rails, basically. So
another one that's coming out, and this is kind of a little bit controversial in its market right now, the Dragon Quest XI Switch.
Yeah.
We knew this was coming.
With extra features to boot. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, Dave's going to be pissed.
Okay, here's the problem, is I'm actually not that pissed. I'm really not. Because the whole 16-bit switching back and forth was something that they're making for the Switch from the 3DS version that we never got.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Wait, we're talking about Dragon Warrior 11, right?
Yeah.
The one on PS4.
Yes.
There's a 16-bit mode in it?
So the Dragon Quest XI on the 3DS had the ability to go between very good looking, almost quality of PlayStation 4-ish graphics. At the press of a button, could go down to a 16-bit version.
I didn't even know this game came out on 3DS.
That's because we're not getting it.
Oh.
So, them adding this in for the Switch version both makes sense and is a cool extra to say, hey people, here's a cool feature that's only here. Now the problem I've got is the storyline exclusive stuff, which they are currently not sure if they're going to bring it as DLC to Dragon Quest XI on the other systems. And I'm not cool with that, because we're talking some pretty, at least from rumors and discussions, we're talking some pretty significant backstory and storyline chunks that we're basically being told to go fuck ourselves on.
Yeah, you have to buy the game again.
Yeah, they're also...
Like, this is some Kingdom Hearts final mix shit.
Yes, exactly. They're also supposedly getting a version of the orchestral soundtrack compared to the other two versions.
Sure.
Which is another big middle finger to the console versions.
But I thought the reason they went away from that is because that guy who does the orchestral soundtrack is a giant bigot.
He is. We figure that Nintendo paid his price for the orchestral soundtrack for...
Won't be the first time Nintendo's just compromised their morality, but...
Yeah. So that's the Dragon Quest XI kind of fiasco. Speaking of fiascos from the Nintendo Direct, Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX.
And 10 and 10-2 were also talked about. But 9 released later that day, so...
So, here's the problem. They kind of pulled a Chrono Trigger with Final Fantasy IX.
Go ahead. Explain. I'm not actually familiar.
It is the mobile fonts, the mobile interface, still references mobile-only things, and is just not a very good port of the game.
Of course. Square did that. They did it to FF6 on Steam. Why not do it to every goddamn game they have?
Except with 6, the outrage was enough that they fixed everything. And they did.
They fixed a couple things, and modders did the rest.
I'll take your word for that. I just heard in the end that everything was fixed.
Yeah, not really. I sunk a lot of hours into that game, despite it being a terrible version.
Okay.
Because it's Final Fantasy VI, I can't help myself.
Speaking of games from Square, you're playing Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, it wasn't really mentioned in the Direct, but I've been playing some Octopath Traveler. So, great game. It's like the Saga series finally done right. All they had to do was get rid of the Saga guy, Kawazu, and put the series in the hands of people who aren't lunatics. And finally, you get that formula realized. Like, you can pick from multiple heroes. On one save file, you can pause a person's quest and go do another hero's, and I think they can meet up. Don't quote me on that. I'm still at the beginning of one person's quest. I picked Primrose, the dancer who can allure people in town. I charmed an old woman who fell in love with Primrose immediately, and then used this old woman's arrow barrage ability to fuck up the first boss and his minions so bad. I broke their defenses, and then the old woman decided she needed some of that Primrose muff, and then fucking rained hellfire in the form of many arrows down upon the boss and their minions. And I was like, wow, I'm fairly certain this was supposed to be a challenge, because I remember the guide saying recommended level 5, and I was like level 3, 4, and I ripped this guy a new one.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I'm really liking how the game looks and plays so far. And a game that plays well in the portable mode, which I'm always thankful for. Because I don't have a good set of grips for the portable mode, and the Joy-Cons are just so awful. Just so awful. But Octopath Traveler, I'm finally getting to it. And yeah, I'm having quite a bit of fun. And I'm glad that they let Primrose charm women.
You've also been playing Tetris 99.
Yeah, they announced this one at the Direct, and it was out the same day. And Dave, I did not realize how badly I needed this game. Because I've in past podcasts, I talked about how I love the Battle Royale genre, but I never found the game that was for me. And I never in a million years thought it could be Tetris. And then they announced it, and I'm like, is this a Tetris Battle Royale? And it's free for Switch Online customers? And then I played it, and I'm like, oh my god. This is so intense and so fun, and this is it. Fuck Fortnite, fuck PUBG, fuck Apex, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Fuck all of this garbage. I have my Battle Royale game, and it's Tetris 99. They should have called it Tetris Battle Royale. It's actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of strategy to who you choose to attack, how you choose to counterattack. You can actually use the touch screen to pick a target if you're so inclined.
Okay.
This is one of the few games where I think the Joy-Con is a little bit better than the Pro Controller, because Tetris has always played better on a keyboard, and having the 4 distinct direction buttons actually helps.
Yeah.
I actually won my first match the other day, and I felt immensely powerful having done that. It is a blast. If you have a Nintendo Switch Online, go fucking get Tetris 99. It's a free download. It was co-developed by Nintendo and Eureka, and I thought Eureka was done with Tetris, and I guess they're not. So
cool.
It's got some cool music. The music amps up very well, and it adds to the intensity, especially when you get to 50 left and then 10 left.
Yeah.
Stat tracking's a little borked at the moment. The stats were not accurate for stuff I did. I got up to a 12 combo in one match, and the game only registered 4 in the stats, as one example. People have posted some weirdness, on the Tetris subreddit. I saw someone being like, how did I get in second, but I KO'd the person on first? And it showed the results screen, and it showed that the person in second KO'd the first place, which means that they shouldn't have won. So there's some weirdness. It says version 1.0 in big letters in the title screen, so there's definitely updates coming. Okay. But yeah, a huge surprise. I was not expecting it. I never knew I needed this in my life, but I do.
Now something that nobody ever needed in their lives.
Rune Factory?
No, you asshole.
They talked about Rune Factory, though.
I'm going to be going there in a moment.
Sure.
Assassin's Creed 3. So let me get this straight.
That was one of 2 big, weird third-party games I wasn't expecting. The other was Senua's Sacrifice, but we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, so just let me get this straight. You went ahead and decided that you're going to remaster...
Uh-huh.
And bring it on Switch, the worst selling, worst rated, and arguably worst Assassin's Creed game you've ever made, even including Assassin's Creed 1, with all of its weirdness.
You're just mad that it's not Black Flag.
I wouldn't actually have played it again anyway. Now, Black Flag is arguably the best Assassin's Creed game, but if you're going to put this much effort into a game, why go after the worst of the series?
Maybe they wanted to get the blemish off their record and do it justice.
You can't.
I don't have enough context to know if that's true or not.
Assassin's Creed is flawed so badly at a mechanic and storyline level. There is no salvaging the game. It's a boring slog that didn't matter to anybody.
Maybe who's the character you control in 3? What's the guy's name?
I couldn't tell you. He's the
American Revolution guy.
The Native American character.
Maybe he's going to be in Smash. Oh my God. There was some sparse Smash news. They showed a silhouette of a Joker model. They said version 3.0, what's coming out in it? Find out more, and then they just moved on.
Well, and yeah, they probably didn't want it to turn into Smashmania.
Senua's Sacrifice surprised me because Ninja Theory, they're owned by Microsoft, and even though, as you mentioned, that game was going to be multi-platform before that deal, more fuel to the Microsoft-Nintendo fire that I hope burns bright.
The two of them are working quite well together.
Yes, they are. With Xbox Live coming to Switch soon.
Yep. And then there's Rune Factory 4 Port and Rune Factory 5. Now, this is interesting for a number of reasons.
Yes.
Number one, as far as we knew, the company that made 4 was gone. They shut down after 4 was released. To the point that the first, I think it was the first 10,000 copies that came out for Rune Factory 4. I've got a sealed copy. Because that was it. They released and then they were gone and they didn't actually really have much of a product line. So hearing that 4 and now 5 is now in development is neat. I mean, I've always liked the Harvest Moon games, and Rune Factory just made it better by adding in the combat if you didn't want to do a bunch of the harvesting stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that it's on Switch because it's a good medium for it.
Cool.
Am I going to buy them? Probably not. I don't have enough time in the day to get to the games that I've got, but I'm glad that series isn't gone.
I have a question about those games. Maybe you can answer them. Can you do same-sex marriage in Rune Factory?
I believe in 4 that was a possibility, yes.
Excellent. This is actually a segue, believe it or not. Because we're moving on to a section that, by the way, folks, if you want this podcast to remain a positive experience, there will be timestamps in the video description. You can go right ahead and skip the various scandals that we're going to talk about, because things are about to get shitty up in here.
We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different scandals to go over here. So this is going to be a large chunk.
One of them is actually 2, the FGC scandals that I'm going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Now, you're not aware of these.
I'm aware of one of them if it's the DOA thing I'm thinking of.
The second one you're not, but you're going to have input. The moment I bring it up, you're going to have words.
Fire away.
Okay. Evo Japan is currently going on.
Yep.
Evo Japan 2019, the Japan branch of Evolution, the world's most prestigious fighting game tournament. I've been to Evo 2013, where I beat a sponsored player in Street Fighter 4 using Street Fighter 2 guile tactics. That's my claim to fame with Evo. And if he's out there, hey, Nightshade, your add-on was better than my guile. I was just stubborn and I didn't want to go 0-2. I'm sorry. A shout out to PS Nightshade. So I have no doubt he kept playing and is now way better than me. Regardless, Evo Japan, they had a partnership with Tecmo to show some more Dead or Alive stuff, because Dead or Alive 6 is coming. Actually looks kind of decent. And Tecmo even they said they wanted to rein back a little bit of the kind of blatant sex appeal in the game, which I kind of...
Physics!
Yeah, I get that. Like, you're allowed to make your game nice and sexy. You're also allowed to say, we're kind of done with that. Mm-hmm. And fans shouldn't be giving them the shit that they're giving them, I think. Because that's their decision. It's not censorship, it's their call. It
definitely isn't censorship.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have modeled your game to a certain audience for so long, and they have basically made your game's money, I have to play devil's advocate here and say that's probably a setting they should have in the game to either turn that on or off.
I'm going to play devil's advocate to you and say that fan base is garbage and they can go just... go masturbate to porn.
I may not like the fan base, and I respect the fact that they want to bring Dead or Alive into an actual competent fighting game without jiggle physics. But again, playing devil's advocate, it really should be a option in your settings. If you want that in your game, great, you can turn it on. Otherwise, it can be off.
It's just that the artistic vision has changed. Kind of like how in Skullgirls they took out a bunch of the blatant panty shots because they were like, you know what, we're all adults here. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Let's be adults. And then people gave them shit for that too.
Yep.
But here's the thing though, they partnered Tecmo for DOA at Evo Japan, and the Tecmo showed off like an ad for the new DOA, and it involved these two hot Japanese models doing rather lewd gestures with each other, grabbing each other in provocative ways, showing gameplay footage of the new DOA game with some very provocative things happening, like a guy powerbombing a girl and it pausing right on the frame where his head is right on her vagina. And for the English stream, it actually cut there, and then Joey Kuehler, aka Mr. Wizard of Shoryuken, the Shoryuken, they're the guys who run Evo as well.
Yeah.
They came on and they said, we apologize for that. We don't agree with the content. It does not align with the core values of SRK or the FGC. And then they stopped that from being played on the stream. And one imagines for the stream archive, they're going to doctor out what was shown. Here's the reason this is a bit of a, not really a scandal, but it's really dumb. There's a very good point a lot of people have made that we're not okay with sex, but we're totally okay with seeing Sonya Blade's face getting ripped off by Baraka. And we're totally okay with Scorpion ripping Raiden clean in half. But some girls grabbing some titties, that's too far.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I'm not a fan of blatant and pointless fan service, that doesn't mean I'm not a fan of fan service where it's done for fun in a tongue-in-cheek way, or even in the context of, you know, showing how a character appeals to another character in fiction. I like my fun fan service. That's why I like Keijo. And from what I saw of this DOA ad, it was all in good fun. And honestly, it's kind of stupid that that SRK of all people, who also partner with NetherRealm Studios to promote a very ultra-violent new Mortal Kombat game, which actually looks like a lot of fun. They're coming out and saying, this is against our core values, when Cammy wore an outfit that made ESPN ask them to put her in a different costume so that she wouldn't, like, affect their ratings too bad. This is against their core values, but the ultra-violence and other scantily clad shit that's been part of the scene forever is suddenly not. Like, come off of that. It's so dumb. There was nothing wrong with it. At the same time, the stupid DOA trolls who have been getting on Tecmo's case for toning down 6 are now going to use this as fuel and going to talk about how things got censored all over again. That's the first FGC scandal that I want to talk about. Dave,
let's pause there for a second.
Yeah, let's get some input from Dave.
I'm not surprised, because North America is a bunch of prudish fucking assholes when it comes to media guidelines and everything else.
Now, I should note before you continue that I am 100% certain that the models and every DOA woman as of DOA 6 is over the age of 18.
Doesn't matter.
Just making sure that we're not celebrating the groping of a teenager. Let's just make sure of that.
The fact is, I mean, more progressive places like Europe go as far as having nudity in their freaking commercials.
Oh yeah,
things
I
like
remember.
soap and the like.
I remember.
Whereas in North America, it is totally okay to be swearing and stabbing somebody and gutting them. But the moment you show a titty, oh dude, you've gone too far.
It's okay to give the Nazis a platform, but is that a vulva?
Yeah.
Out.
Exactly. So it doesn't surprise me. The fact that they're saying core values and all this, yeah, right. What values?
Hashtag core values was trending yesterday.
Yeah.
And some guy made a fan art of the DOA characters themselves laughing at it, and I'm like, How the fuck did this happen so fast?
Some artists are really quick, and quite frankly, when you mess with their shit, they get even more enthusiastic.
I agree with you completely. It's silly. Like, obviously, rampant fan service and rampant sex appeal can be very harmful, especially for women.
And we call that out in our anime rapes.
Sure, which should be called out. This was not meant to be that, and it's especially in a community which celebrates violence. And as much as the DOA 6 trolls are going to use it to troll, it's still stupid that it happened.
Yeah, it is.
The other FGC scandal is one I heard about this morning.
Okay.
So there's an FGC member. I don't know how many fighting games he plays. His handle is Dacid Bro. Now, he was anyway a very big ArcSys player. He probably was North America's best Guilty Gear player for a long time, and often at tournaments it would be all Japanese players and Dacid Bro. He's very good. He's also a fairly progressive dude. I've actually been, I'm an admirer of Dacid Bro. I've admired him for some time. Dacid Bro, big Catherine competitive player. And he basically spearheaded the Catherine competitive scene. Because there's competitive Catherine where you do verses where you each go up the puzzle blocks and the fastest. Okay. It's no different than like Tetris versus or Puyo, right? This morning, he talked about how he's not supporting that anymore because the new version of Catherine that Atlas is releasing has an ending where a transgender character... It's an ending where everyone gets to be happy. Okay. And in that ending, the transgender character has discovered that they never wanted to transition, and that's how they're happy. And I read about all the details, and I'm like, here's the thing. The writers of Catherine, this is the Persona writing team. And Persona has had this kind of transphobic and homophobic shit before. Like how Kanji was originally going to be a gay character, but instead of making him gay... They made the fact that he was having gay panic as like his illness, and that it was kind of cured by being into a girl who herself had kind of gender dysphoria issues, namely Naoto. So there's already a lot of awfulness associated with this team. I haven't heard of anything Persona 5 specific, but I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you.
I think I can honestly say they probably were very careful of that in Persona 5.
It's one thing to not include LGBTQIA plus representation in your fiction. It's another thing entirely to include the parts in it you want to present an agenda that actively is toxic towards it.
Yeah.
It is really bad that they would do that to a transgender character. Here's the thing. In real life, of course, someone can decide they don't want to transition, but for that to appear in fiction as the ultimate goal is extraordinarily harmful.
What finally got us to end watching...
Steins Gate?
Steins Gate.
Yeah. Well, that shit in episode 8, I couldn't take it. And that's going to be part of Backlog Apocalypse 2019. But yeah, we stopped.
We stopped because it was wrong.
It felt immensely transphobic.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible that we have some transgender viewers who, when I finally do get that out, might disagree. In that case, we'll revisit it. But blatant transphobia is just not cool anymore, man. It was never cool, but definitely I was toxic enough in the past that I thought it was cool.
I already thought it was really scummy of them to release the original version of Catherine on PC when the new version was coming out in 3 months.
Sure. It's scummy business tactic.
And then telling us that we're not getting the new version.
Yeah, it's just...
Thanks for getting your seconds.
It's so wretched from a financial standpoint in that way. It's so wretched from a moral standpoint in treatment of this character. And yeah, Dacid Bro said, no, he's done. He is not going to help support this anymore.
Good.
And I 100% agree with Dacid Bro here. It's a terrible thing to happen, and shame on Atlas and on everyone else involved here. It's not cool. What's the next scandal we got to talk about? Is it Vic Monona?
Yes.
Can I start this one off?
The floor is yours.
Because it's literally the only thing I want to say about it.
Okay.
I tweeted something like this, and I'm just repeating it. The way I see it, when it comes to Vic Monona, there are two possibilities. The first possibility is that for years and years, Vic Monona has been a terrible, awful, harassing piece of shit who has done awful things, sexually exploitive things, very bad things in general, and never been called on it or caught and been defended by fans and the industry to a degree that is reprehensible, but unfortunately not surprising. The second possibility is that Vic Monona is the victim of a grand conspiracy, one supported by not only convention goers and convention organizers, but every single one of Vic's voice actor colleagues who have come out in support of the victims here. Vic Monona is the victim of the biggest conspiracy on this planet, with the end goal of profit? And of these two possibilities, one of them is way more likely than the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I choose to believe. Dave, what do you got to say about it?
It's a shame because I like his voice work.
Yeah.
And despite him ending up being a really creepy dude and everything else, I'm not going to let it affect how I look at those characters. Because I can disassociate the voice actor and the character, thankfully.
I think it is okay for you to say, Vic sucks, but I still like the character he voices, and I still think he's a talented voice actor. And that this isn't just you, it's anybody who's listening who feels that way. That is an okay thought. It is also totally okay to think Edward Elric, Kurtz Weber, Crowe from Ruby, all these characters are ruined because of him, and he took that away from me. It's okay to think that too.
Yeah, like, look, I haven't jumped too far down the rabbit hole in this one because I didn't want to. But to add on to what you were saying as far as your two options, I think when it comes to Vic, there may be a significant mental health issue here as well.
There may be.
He very well may have seen this as very innocent, and he may have been, for lack of a better term, and don't crucify me on this, acting like a kid and just being very friendly with his fans.
Sure, like the Michael Jackson defense, right?
Well, with the difference is that Michael Jackson actually was taken to court and was able to prove himself innocent time and time again. And I actually believe those ones.
I'm not sure anymore myself, but do go on.
But that may have been Vic's thing, but it doesn't make it right.
Now,
and the fact that the industry didn't come together earlier and make this obvious to him so he could change his behavior way before now and therefore not end up at this result is a failing on both his part, on the different con organizers, and on the companies that chose to keep on hiring him, as well as his co-workers should have called him out on it earlier. I'm not victim blaming here. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that if this is a very hard thing, it always is coming forward. But there's been more than enough evidence going back as early as 2005 to this stuff in photos, in interviews, in witness statements that have been given to, voice acting companies and cons. But nobody wanted to step up and make this an issue.
It's tough because
and that's just it. That's why I am not victim blaming here at all.
I do not believe you are victim blaming.
It is so hard to come forward with these sort of things against people that you may have respected before and don't now. You don't want to be the lone voice, the lone gunman kind of thing, because then you're going to be crucified. But you also don't want to jump on a bandwagon when other people are obviously not accusing the person of the same thing, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's just it's a really hard situation, and I really believe that if it had been gotten to earlier, maybe Vic could have changed and actually been. If this is just him being unintentionally creepy,
that's the thing. I when it comes to that one part, being a little too handsy and saying, "Hey, traditionally people have been more like this," that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it terrible but understandable. But there's also been more reports than that. Reports of like advances that people have told him to stop with, and he hasn't. Or on Polygon, I saw a commenter talk about how they used to be a con organizer, and Vic's stipend that they gave him, he used up immediately. It was supposed to be used up for the week. It was supposed to be last him the weekend.
Yeah,
he used it up immediately, and repeatedly during his Q&A panel, he was asking the con staff to get them like him things to drink and whatnot, and never paid them back, even though he ran through his money. Just like behavior, both on various scales of reprehensible.
Obviously, I haven't dug in deep enough, and I don't want to.
Here's the thing. I feel like I failed here because how many years have I been watching dubbed anime, and I only heard about this shit last month.
Yeah.
So clearly,
the industry has, and I blame the industry here for a great deal of it. They've managed to keep this on the down low.
It's really bad. It's really bad. I heard stories of how like fans were trying to ask Funimation to not include him as a voice actor in Free because Vic has also said and done homophobic shit too, on top of everything. And then they're like, no, we're not doing that. And then lo and behold, he's a voice actor on Free. And I mean, yeah, okay, Funimation has finally fired him, but it took too much.
It did.
Rooster Teeth fired him, and as progressive as a lot of the staff on Rooster Teeth tend to be, the fact is that this took too long as well. And I've been watching a lot of RWBY. I'm completely caught up on RWBY, and it's going to be a shame to see the voice actor of Crowe no longer be the voice actor of Crowe, because he did a great job as Crowe. But I'll take it. Go get Steve Blum. Crowe sounds like Wolverine anyway. Get Steve Blum to do it. But yeah, sorry, if Vic Monona is innocent, and he's not, then he is the target of the world's greatest conspiracy for absolutely no reason. Yeah. It's much more likely. And again, he's got a ravenous fan base. I'm kind of afraid to put this out there just because of that. Like, I'm going to, unless you object, but...
No, look, if you want to defend him, go ahead and defend him. We're not going to argue with you. I mean, you have your take, we have our take. Don't bother posting that you defend him or whatever else, because it's not a discussion we're going to have. It's just... I'm not going to call you scum or anything else. It's just I don't agree with your counter arguments.
If you have a take on it, by all means post it in the comments. We'll leave it unless it's scummy or terrible, in which case we're just deleting it and banning you. So please watch your words.
So let's get past that one into other controversies that aren't quite so...
Other scandals! Yeah. The scandal hour continues.
So this is one that you didn't know of. This is for the new Metro Exodus game.
Okay, tell me.
So, you may have heard that Epic is trying to steal a whole bunch of Steam's thunder recently.
Yes, with the Epic Games Store.
With the Epic Games Store, and letting developers keep a lot more of their money compared to Steam and everything else.
Yeah.
So they've gotten a whole bunch of exclusives here recently over Steam.
Like Hades.
Timed exclusives, but still exclusives.
Sure.
So, Metro Exodus was originally being sold on Steam for a while. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, the publisher decided, you know something? We want more of our cash to stick around. So they made it Epic exclusive.
I think I remember hearing about this now, but please continue.
They did say they were going to honor all the purchases of the people who paid on Steam, but that it would be through the Epic Store launcher.
It's a better launcher anyway.
It's missing features that I know people want.
Sure.
But, look, that aside, I happen to like that most of my games are in one place. But I have the Epic Store launcher. I have the Origin Store launcher. For all my sins, the Ubisoft launcher.
What about GOG?
Actually, I've never downloaded the GOG launcher. I just download the game and play it.
Gotcha. I have the GOG launcher. It's not bad.
But here's the thing. I open those when I need them. Steam is always in the background running. It opens when I open my computer because of how much I use Steam. This is a little bit of a controversy because they had said they were selling on Steam and they pulled it from the Steam store only a month before launch. So I can understand why some people are pissed off. I mean, yeah, you said you're selling it on Steam. I'm going to be able to get through Steam. I bought it on Steam. And now you're saying, psych, only over here. Now they're giving people their money back if they don't like that or whatever else. But you do not say, I'm going to bring a game to PlayStation and then say, oh, well, now it's only on Xbox. Not the best analogy because it is still on PC and all you have to do is install a goddamn launcher. But this, I get it. I really do. I want all my games through one storefront as much as possible. And to get more money, they moved it exclusively to another one. So, yeah, it caused a bit of a controversy in the PC group.
They refunded the money from anyone who wanted it back?
Yep.
And they honored the purchase for people who still wanted it?
Yep.
Forgive me for saying this, Dave, but how is this a controversy?
Because much like back in the dark old days before Steam came along.
In the long, long ago?
In the long, long ago. Steam itself was a controversy. People didn't want to launch another application to launch their games.
In addition, the first version of Steam sucked.
That it did. But some people only want one launcher versus two, etc. That is their... If they only want that's fine. The controversy here is that they pulled the game from one platform after already selling it.
Except they didn't.
But
they literally just moved it to a different launcher and honored or refunded every purchase.
And look, so I respect them for that. But for some people,
okay, wait.
They don't want Epic.
Dave, I have a grievance with you right now. You're aware that Valve is kind of shitty, right?
Of course I am.
I remember where I heard this now. I remember it because Gabe Newell was talking about how, Metro shouldn't do this to their fans. When what he really wanted to say was, Metro should let us take more of their money.
Okay, I do not give two shits about what Gabe wants to say. I'm just saying that this was a bit of a issue in the PC market.
There's no issue.
But
there's no issue at all.
There kind of is, though.
If the issue is I like having all my games in one storefront, then there's an issue with you. Because you're letting Valve basically keep their hands firmly clamped around both testicles because you want a common location for your launchers?
Okay, just because it's going from Steam to Epic is not the thing. It's not from what platform to what platform.
Again, the platform isn't changing. The platform is PC. I'm glad you called out your own analogy to consoles because I was going to, because it's not the same.
No, it's not.
This is supposed to be the scandal section.
And it...
Fuck these guys for their completely fair practices.
If it happened the other way, I'd call it as much of an issue. if Steam stole a game from Epic.
And if Metro still honored all the purchases or gave the money back where people didn't want it anymore, you'd still call them on it.
It's still a bit of an issue. You don't change after already having sold something. You don't change it at the last second.
It's not changed. It's just in a different launcher. Literally nothing. They did literally nothing wrong. Metro did nothing wrong. Who's the developer here?
Don't know.
They did nothing wrong.
I'm glad I brought this up.
I'm sorry that they mildly inconvenienced you in order to make more games in the future because they get to keep more of their money.
So, as part of this...
Yeah, this belonged after Vic Monona.
At least it's more lighthearted.
You're not wrong, Dave.
In addition to everything here, one of the, because people were pissed off at them and everything else, one of the actual devs came out and said, yeah, well, if you assholes don't, buy the game on PC, next time there won't be a PC version. Fuck you. And then the actual dev team came on there and said, yeah, we apologize for him. He's under a little bit of stress.
Again, he did nothing wrong.
Even the dev team is like, yeah, we're sorry our publisher did this. This was not us that made this decision.
Look,
they would much have preferred that it had stayed on both storefronts, and then people who wanted to give them more money could have bought it through the Epic Store.
Look, I am all against capitalism. Fuck capitalism. Fuck just being relentless and hunting for profits. But there's literally no issue here. Like, unless I'm missing something.
I can see a couple inconveniences being on the Epic Store compared to your friends and everything else, but I
literally set it up as a custom game in Steam to launch the Epic launcher with the command line you need to launch the game.
That's beyond. That's beyond a
really such a problem.
That's anyway. That was something in the industry that was happening.
Gotcha.
Your next one.
I can't really see
Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 3, Carlos will have the next timestamp to jump through to, because this is about the secret ending.
Yeah. What's the item? The third item in Scandals?
Broly.
Oh, why is it in Scandals?
Because Vic Broly.
Oh, but there's no scandal in Broly.
Because he's Broly. I just include the two of them as...
We'll talk about it after this. Okay, the other disclaimer for the Kingdom Hearts thing is that I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3 because I don't hate myself.
Hey!
I haven't played Kingdom Hearts games since Kingdom Hearts 2 because I have more respect for myself than that.
Bullshit.
And because Kingdom Hearts 2 just pissed me off enough that I was like, this series is going places. Not any place good, but places. And I'm not going to be a part of it. So, I was still morbidly curious about the plot of Kingdom Hearts 3, so I read the plot synopsis, and it somehow got worse every minute as I was reading it, and worse still, and even worse than I could have possibly imagined. It is the worst. Now, I'm not mentioning a lot of the deets, because Dave, for some reason, wants to play this game, and he doesn't want to be entirely spoiled on it. But we did talk about the secret ending and what's in it. Now, again, spoilers. There are events where Sora may or may not die in the main game, and it's a big question as to whether or not he's dead, but the secret ending makes it clear, as Riku is looking for him, and both of them are trapped in Tokyo, and there's another character who looks at the moon, and makes a little heart symbol with their fingers as they look at the moon through it, strongly implying that Kingdom Hearts is just the moon, and that Riku and Sora are in the past. There you go. That's your fucking big series. 10 out of 10 game series. Some people call this the best game series they've ever played. There were problems in Kingdom... You know when I realized Kingdom Hearts was going to shit? Chain of Memories. That's when I realized it was going to shit. The literal second game. When I was like, hey, the first game story's pretty cool. All these Disney villains are doing something evil. There's this shadowy original character who's behind the scenes. Not that great, but at least he's behind the scenes enough that it works. And then in Chain of Memories, they're like, oh, but the real villains are Organization 13.
Yeah.
And that's where shit goes down the drain, not just narratively, as every single game story got worse and worse and worse and worse, because Tetsuya Nomura is a shit storyteller. But mechanically, like the first Kingdom Hearts was a little janky. Then Chain of Memories comes along and plays worse. Then Kingdom Hearts 2 comes along, and it's like halfway between Kingdom Hearts 1 jank and halfway between a Hatsune Miku game with the summons. And instead of advancing it to a more character action length, every new game that I've read about, it's just janky mechanics and more janky story. And in 3, that seems to be the case as well. And I'm like, why do people like this?
If you want to get mad, the sealed copies up there.
Thank you. But if I did do that, you wouldn't be playing it. Because I'd kill you with it.
Look, here's the thing. We had a segment on our last episode 106, about how shitty ending, or games that had shitty endings that all of a sudden had fantasy characters in the real world.
Yeah, like Chrono Cross.
Like Chrono Cross.
The worst sequel ever made. Chrono Cross.
But
the absolute worst.
Yes, exactly. But at least in a game like Kingdom Hearts, the idea of there being a world that has Tokyo makes a little bit more sense than all of a sudden having Luca in Tokyo in Chrono Cross. Wait, Luca?
Kid. Who was actually Shala.
I know. At least that makes a little bit more sense with the whole planet hopping thing, or world hopping thing. That can happen. Okay, I've now defended it. Now, where's my dagger?
Dave,
look.
I'd like to introduce you to a new prop that I bought for the show. It's the Two Fat Guys Talk guillotine.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to need you to put your head right here.
So, that's Kingdom Hearts 3. Now on to an actual controversy.
Yeah.
Activision, Blizzard, and letting go 800 plus employees after a record profit year.
Remember when Satoru Iwata, rest in peace, talked about how Nintendo had failed one year so that he and his higher execs were going to personally take a pay cut?
Yep.
So that they didn't have to lay off people and ruin their livelihoods?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some people talking about how this is evidence of how Japan just runs businesses better. This is obviously bunk, because Japanese businesses have, in fact, engaged in a lot of not taking the blame for things that are their fault. Examples are numerous in Google. This is more of an example of how Satoru Iwata and Nintendo were being stand-up about this, and not about Japan versus America.
Yep.
So I'm not going to make it about Japan versus America, because that's stupid. We're going to make it about companies that give a shit about their employees, which are extremely rare, and Nintendo has demonstrated they don't always give a shit, but in this one case they did, versus this callous capitalist mindset of, we had a record profit year, we can have even more profits, so fuck 800 people. Anytime anyone makes the argument that a millionaire or a billionaire has earned their money, I want to slap the stupid right out of them. Because no millionaire or billionaire has earned all of their money. It was all built on the backs of the people who worked for them, or they got it through luck. They didn't build the roads. They didn't build the infrastructure, and they sure as hell don't run the warehouses and the cleaning and all the dirty work that they'd never do for a day in their lives. Yep. Jeff Bezos does not deserve $1 trillion.
No.
He has enough money to pay every single employee. He has $1 million salary. And that's what they deserve. He doesn't deserve trillions.
I agree.
The guy at Activision who got that signing bonus doesn't deserve it. Those 800 employees deserve better.
Yeah.
Telltales deserve better. Capitalism is their employees.
Okay, yes.
Capitalism is a garbage system. This is just another symptom of it. There are people talking about how, we just won't support Activision. That will not work. You can't just not buy a company's games and expect that'll take them out of business. You know what you want to do if you want to never see this happen again? Don't vote conservative. vote for politicians and parties who fight this shit, who fight against, who want to rein in capitalism run amok. That's how you fight this. If you ever vote for a conservative party and you say that you hate the Activision laying off 800 people for no good reason, you're a hypocrite. Plain and simple.
Speaking of hypocrisy, we've got Sony and no longer doing E3. Or at least this year not doing E3.
I don't know if that's so much hypocrisy as much as...
Oh, come on! It's totally a hypocrisy. We don't think the E3 is meeting our expectations, and we can do much better on our own. After the worst E3 presentation E3 has ever seen.
It was bad.
It wasn't just bad. It was. It has the labeling now as the worst E3 presentation anyone has pulled off.
It was the dumbest idea I've ever seen. The dumbest idea in the world was to make that bullshit presentation they did, which was so few games, forcing convention goers to get up and go to different stages just so Sony can sniff its own farts, and having ESPN commentary like people talk about the games as all that shit was happening. I remember calling you during it and being like, are you seeing this garbage, Dave? And now Sony's like, we don't think they can meet our exacting standards. You know what? Good. Leave. I don't want another E3 with Sony pulling this shit. I would much rather companies who know what the fuck they're doing put out a presentation.
Yeah, like, it doesn't mean we don't have to see PlayStation 4 games or maybe even the beginning of the PlayStation 5 stuff.
Sure.
It can just come from the actual devs versus Sony.
This is no condemnation of the PlayStation platform. This is a condemnation of their E3 strategy.
Yeah, it was...
When your presentation makes me miss the EA one, there's a problem.
Yeah.
There's a huge problem. When I'm like, man, that EA presentation wasn't so bad after all. There's something wrong, man.
Can we get back to Ubisoft doing dancing games? Like, serious.
Yeah, I think I'd rather see that.
And now this comes down to one that's a little bit more for me. The continuing dumpster fire that is Fallout 76.
You know, I didn't know you were going to talk about Fallout 76, but I knew you were.
So... I've put way too many hours into this game to the point that I really don't want to say how many hours I've got into it. Probably it's pushing 60 to 80, I'm guessing.
Stop. What? Sorry, let me rephrase. What?
Okay, so let me defend myself a little bit here after
Please.
Having admitted to this travesty.
The floor is yours.
Fallout 76 is very well aptly described as a ongoing dumpster fire.
Yeah.
But the moment you're playing with friends, it kind of, the dumpster fire becomes more manageable, and you can actually eke out some fun out of it.
I mean, I can believe that. You can eke out some fun out of jabbing needles into your arm.
So, I mean, I bought it. A friend had bought it, so we played through the game. We had some fun with it. We started to see like a lot of games of this type, the further away from the starting area you got, the worse the game got. We kept with it because the shooting mechanic was actually okay. We were having fun with that. Things became bullet sponges, started to become less fun of that. We had some other friends that joined us, kept us going. But the problem here is they launched Fallout 76 with the idea that this was going to be a growing world. They were going to...
I mean, cancer grows.
Yes, and that's very much what's happened. Because They have spent the entirety of the past almost 3 months since this game is launched trying to put out the little fires while leaving the dumpster fire gloriously burning at 50 feet. Because this game has... The whole point of it was supposed to be a survival game where the in-game economy would work together kind of thing. But how do you build an in-game economy when duping items is so fucking easy? You can't do it. So, in every patch that they've tried to do something quote-unquote positive, they've broken more than they've fixed. I mean, this is Bethesda at its absolute gloriously worst when it comes to QA. Because they're like, the fans are screaming, we can't hold enough shit in our storage to actually do stuff with. Okay, well, to make sure we don't crash the servers, we'll increase your capacity by 200. Okay, fine. But a quest that was literally called Food for the People.
Yeah, feed the people.
Feed the people. Where if a group got together and did it, actually gave food to the entire server. Now, remember, the server only holds a maximum of 30 people, and I've never seen 30 people on a server. Ever. So it's not like this is breaking the game, but a positive quest, they fix.
Yeah, it was a bug.
It was a bug. And what did the fans say? Put that fucking bug back in. Give us something.
Some bugs work out well. Combos were a bug in Street Fighter.
What did they do? Nothing. They didn't do anything about it. They've only recently finally started to get the duping issues under control. And in fact, actually, this last patch has been the first patch that has been mostly positive. In that they went into everybody's inventory. If you were holding... They made your maximum inventory you could hold is 1,500 pounds on yourself. Compared to some people had like 1 million pounds they were holding. Because they were dupers. So if you had more than a couple copies of a certain gun, they're gone. Sort of stuff. So they're trying to bring things under management, but this is a game that's supposed to have like weekly content added to it. Events and everything else. And it's failed. I mean, the articles of people saying that Fallout 76 isn't a fixable game, they're not lying.
There's a person I follow, Peter Coffin. I followed him for some time.
Uh-huh.
He talks about how the game industry is a mirror for how capitalism is going to fuck over everywhere else next. And the fact that this game has not been recalled the way cars would have to be is troubling. I recently had a recall on my used 2014 car that, by law, they had to go fix.
Yep.
And they did. There should be a recall. A complete recall.
We were lied to from the beginning. The fact that I've managed to, with some friends, squeeze that much fun out of the rock is a miracle. Am I going back to this game anytime soon? No, because it's done. It's time to abandon what will probably never be fixed to the point of being fun again and move on to better things. I mean, what else can I say about Fallout 76 that everybody else hasn't said? I mean,
I strongly recommend people go watch.
This was virtual snake oil.
It is. It's virtual snake oil. I recommend, and I introduced you to this recently, Matt McMuscles of formerly Best Friend Saibatsu.
Yeah.
Does a series. He's done this for a while now called What Happened.
Yeah.
You know, the voice where you talk to a kitten or a puppy be like, What
He hasn't done one for Fallout, has he?
Yes, he has. He did one for Fallout 76.
Okay, we're watching that after we're done.
He also did one for Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Yeah, we'll get there too.
Which is fun because he references a SRK thread from Alan Noon that since at the time I was on SRK, I remember seeing and talking to him about. Talking to Alan Noon, I mean. Oh, yeah. It's good times. But yeah, go watch What Happened by Matt McMuscles and make sure you watch the Fallout 76 one and be aware that the fire still burns.
Now, the reason why I bring out Fallout 76...
Uh-huh.
Because it does still fall into the ongoing scandal, which is its existence.
Does it fall out into the ongoing scandal?
Oh, I wish it fell out of my computer and gave me my money back. Anthem has now just launched.
Yes, you want to talk a bit about Anthem.
Now, I was a fan of the mechanics of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I probably got as far as I did because I had family who was playing it, and I mean, as long as somebody is around to help get past the crap and find some of the shiny jewels in a game, you can keep with a game for a long time that way.
I've played a lot of garbage because family and friends also played it, so I won't judge you for that.
Yeah. I mean, you played Destiny, was it 1 or did you actually try 2?
I actually bought the white Destiny PlayStation 4.
Yes. And you lasted not even an evening.
15 minutes.
There you go.
When I realized this was trash.
Yeah.
Love the PS4, though.
Yes, you should.
Lovely color. I love the white DualShocks it came with. And much like how I bought an Xbox 360 for Sonic 06, even though the game I initially bought it for was a big disappointment, the fact of the matter is the system itself has not been.
Exactly. So, I went into Anthem here very hesitant, because this is a BioWare game that has been in development for 5 years, so you would think that BioWare would have looked at all of the mistakes that
Bungie made
with Destiny and everything else, and make sure they didn't do them. And early reviews were semi-positive with oh my god, you're trying to charge how much for skins reaction from people like Angry Joe. But really, the actual mechanics and everything else to the game, people were saying that, hey, they're onto something here. So I subscribed to the $20 premium service through EA instead of buying Anthem to give it a try.
Sure.
Mainly because I could have just gone with the $5 one and gone a 10-hour demo playthrough kind of thing, but in case I liked it, I wanted more. And I'm only about 3.5 hours into it, and I've got to say, BioWare's got something here. The transition from jumping to flying to hovering, the big ass areas, the combat is strong, the gunplay is strong. You've got your missions, which are your storyline missions, and you can do storyline missions in a solo mode, or you can do it in a public mode where 3 random people will join you. And I've done a couple of the public ones now for my storyline missions, and my storyline mission was not made worse by the introduction of random people, which is already a thumbs up to BioWare on that, because in a lot of cases, as we've seen, say, from Final Fantasy XIV in those dungeons, some people just want to rush through and say, fuck you, and we're done.
That's less a problem in 14 than it was in WoW, but point taken.
Depends on the group.
Oh, no, I know. We have both been in groups together where jackasses be jackassing. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. So, that is good. The gunplay is strong. I mean, the gunplay, they let you choose what sort of weapon you want to main and eventually have a secondary weapon, from handguns, hand cannons, different types of rifles, shotguns, snipers, grenade launcher, heavy, and that all depends on, what is it called? Javelin?
I think the suit is called the Javelin.
Yeah.
But call it the suit.
Whatever suit you're wearing depends on what weapons you can use, and that really goes with more of the heavy ones than anything else. But you can also go into free mode, which is literally, you just step outside the wall of your city, and you go. You choose a direction, and you run, you fly, you walk, you do whatever the hell you want.
And this is that free mode.
And this is the free mode, yes. And I've spent probably about an hour to an hour and a half in free mode. I mean, I've gone into a couple areas where all of a sudden, I mean, my health just dropped like a fucking rock. It's just like, what the fuck am I getting hit with? But again, there's so much verticality to these areas that just looking at the ground will get your ass kicked, because all of a sudden that guy up on that cliff is sniping your ass down. But it's not just like in Destiny where you're like, well, I can't get up there, bang bang, he's dead. It's like, you motherfucker made this personal. I'm flying up there and I'm punching your face in. I like how the shield / health is working this one, because of course your shield does come back over time, whereas your health doesn't. So as you're killing guys, they're dropping universal ammo clumps, which is already a better thing than Destiny. None of this light, heavy, special ammo drop bullshit. And, I mean, they'll drop health and everything else. You'll power up your super, and then, like, I'm using the Ranger suit right now, so from a ground level, or from what they were always showing in the videos, you know, flying around, you can activate it, and then it'll trigger, like, on, like, 25 guys, or on just, like, one kind of thing, if there's only one around. And they'll just fucking launch all your missiles and fucking hit the guy. Very few guys have felt like bullet sponges to me. And that's a good thing, because bullet sponging is what made, I was going to say Destiny, that's not, District. No. What was that other one done by Ubisoft that has part 2 coming out here soon? It was a shooter in New York after the plague.
I know the one you're talking about, but I don't remember the title. But I do remember the game you speak of.
Just for this, we should probably just grab that, because it's...
Dave is looking up stuff on the internet. And as he looks it up, I'm gonna sing.
Please don't.
Dave, if you want me to stop, you're gonna have to find out what that game is called. What that game is called. Dave, look it up, please. I don't know how many more words I could bullshit in this song. That just won't end until you find the name of that thing. Was it called Last Light?
No!
That thing that you're looking for by Ubisoft. Dave, please help.
See, now I'm just tempted to let this keep on going.
Yeah, no, you're not. What the
Division.
The Division.
Oh,
yes.
thank God.
Dave, I'm. Thank you for hanging on as long as you did. It was untenable what happened there. Oh, can't even turn his phone off during.
So the Division 2, one of the big problems that game has, everybody you fought felt like a bullet sponge.
Sure.
In this one, like, enemies have their weak spots. If you're able to hit them, they go down really quick, kind of thing. But the big thing is like the voice acting and the actual missions have been both fun.
Yeah.
Cutscenes are great because they expand the universe and actually tell us backstory. They're not expecting us to go to some external site to read the fucking info. Destiny. So far, I've been really impressed. I'll give a follow-up kind of review at the next podcast we do on whether it manages to land the end game kind of thing. So yeah, Anthem has been great. I love the mobility your character has. It feels really good to fly around and do that kind of Iron Man stuff.
Does the whole game feel like you're on Endor? Because I remember the trailers gave me a big Endor vibe. Forest moon environment, basically. Which is fine. I think that's a perfectly fine setting.
I've only been into several areas, so I can't really say too much, but I mean, a lot of the areas that I've been in so far have been like mountainous caverns open to the air. That I'm going way down into chasms and stuff like that. Going underwater into areas that was neat in the first mission. You did that where your handler is like, oh yeah, so in the next one you need to go underwater, and you're like, dive off right in. I also love the fact that what keeps you from being in the air forever kind of thing is you build up heat.
Mm-hmm.
And enemies actually use this against you using like flamethrowers and stuff, so you can't just fly away kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the unit AI is nowhere near as buggy as it was being shown by some people in the demos, which is good because they were having guys walking into walls and shit like that and not actually attacking. Guys popping in and out of combat. That sort of stuff you can't have when you're doing a kind of an MMO style combat system here. But if you dive bomb from a high distance, you actually shed a bunch of heat because of the... Actually, I'm not quite sure how that works in physics, to be honest.
Fuck physics!
If you go into water or you go through like a waterfall, it will actually cool you down and give you more time in the air.
Mm-hmm.
The customization of your character is also neat as well, because as you level up, your suit kind of evolves and opens up spots that you can do stuff with. So, like, to start with, I had one gun, I had a grenade, and a kind of a power blast kind of thing. My ranger guy tends to use that to knock down the guy's shields, if he has shields.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The grenade's a neat little grenade. You could hold it and kind of aim it, or you can just point at somebody and throw it, and it'll go a certain distance and blow up it. But there's all kinds of grenades that you can get. Your weapons have levels as well to them, so you can actually tell, this gun should be better than that one at levels and stuff like that, depending on what type you're going with. I unlocked a augment, as you called them, for my suit just recently, that now my gun does 25% more base damage, whereas before I had an armor one on there. There's other ones like having a better shield if you want, and there's multiple augment slots that you can unlock as you go through. The color schemes I could do, you don't just do colors, you also can do things like, well, I want this set of stuff on me to have more of a metallic sheen versus I want it to look more clothy. Like literally, like there's fabric types on there that you can then add colors to and stuff like that. So
I want my mech to look like a bishop.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it a nice bishop hat.
Exactly. And I mean, you find and unlock additional like helmets and leg specs and stuff like that. Doesn't actually affect your, other than the level attached to it, the look is cosmetic, which is good.
No, it sounds like fun. It was something I was on. I'm not sure I want to play it. I might. I'm on the fence at the moment. But it does sound like... I've heard mixed impressions, mostly skewing towards the positive.
Well, and for somebody like you, what I would suggest is jump onto EA's website and get the $5...
The 10-hour one, right?
One month subscription, so you can try a 10-hour... It's you download the game, and they basically limit you to 10 hours of gameplay.
That's all I'll need,
and that,
if even.
But that's just it. EA has fun, and I don't believe I'm giving this credit to EA of all people. EA has found the perfect way to give you a demo-sized chunk of a game so you can see how it actually is versus a built demo that only shows the best.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sort of demos that we needed back in the day to actually show us the game versus, man, that level was awesome, buy the game, it's all shit.
Yeah.
So I highly suggest that if you're on the fence on it, I'm liking what I'm playing so far. The gunplay is fun, the combat is neat, and the exploration is amazing.
How system requirement heavy is the PC version?
You're going to have to turn down a few things. I'm running everything on Ultimate or Ultra or wherever the hell the highest is. And the system automatically did that. I didn't have to tweak it. It's just like, you're good.
Next on the docket.
And this kind of relates to Anthem as well. Apex.
Apex Legends? Is that what it's called?
I think that's its full title.
It's called Apex something. Really quickly gonna look this up. Dave, sing a song, please.
No.
Why not? I sang one for you.
Just because you're insane doesn't mean I have to be insane.
Sing a song!
This is the song that go fuck yourself.
Well, I found it, so no thanks to you. It's Apex Legends.
Okay. So, Apex Legends is the hot new Fortnite killer.
It's a squad-based survival horror. Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
So it's like teams of 3. You can't do a solo option yet, anyway.
It's a free-to-play,
Mm-hmm.
which will eventually probably be bankrolled by cosmetics. So the reason why this is even being mentioned by me in comparison to Anthem is this was put out by Titanfall developers a week before Anthem came out. Now, this was a pretty dick move. It wasn't done underneath the EA license. It was actually done by Respawn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dick move to their publisher EA because BioWare's been working on Anthem for 5 years. And a week before their next major title, you release a free-to-play Fortnite killer to split your audience. Bit of a dick move.
Now, Respawn they're still a subsidiary that
EA
a
owns them.
subsidiary of EA, right?
Yeah.
So how are they even allowed to release the game on their own? Is that part of the agreement? Is it kind of like how Capcom doesn't own Strider, but their agreement lets them not only use Strider whenever they want, but add new lore?
Don't know. I don't know the details of the actual quote-unquote publishing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like this, there's been a great deal of talk about how this could hurt Anthem's launch, because EA is expecting Anthem to do very well, push a great deal of units, and now granted, somebody like me probably doesn't help that number because I'm doing their subscription service, so I'm hoping they're going to consider that a quote-unquote purchase, because I played it right off the bat.
Yeah, huh?
But from what I've seen, Anthem deserves the attention, the positive attention that it's getting. But I worry about how many people, we're not talking the fact that, both games can be great and therefore can have lots of players. Really, games now are fighting for a player's time. So by releasing a free-to-play game that is getting very positive traction, and Fortnite's actually losing a player base, which I'm kind of happy about. Just because Fortnite's been a little bit too popular for too long for a game that I don't think is that great. Personally, it also does mean that the Anthem player base is now going to be smaller than it probably would have. That's why I call it a dick move.
It does suck. I remember you telling me this before the podcast, and I was like, who gives a shit at who shivs EA? But it's not really shivving EA, it's more shivving BioWare. And that's an Edmonton boy. Yeah, that, look, I've been talking a lot about fuck Edmonton lately because of this stupid cold snap. But, the companies that were here, we have some good companies here, and BioWare is one of them.
And we know a couple people in BioWare.
Well, I don't keep regular contact, but I've played D&D with them, so...
I talk to him every now and then.
Sure.
Him and other people that I know there. But, yeah, it's... I'm not so much worried about EA in this case as I am worried about BioWare, because BioWare has managed to keep a great deal of its individuality after EA learned from their Dragon Age 2 debacle not to interfere. So I just don't want to see that come back and have EA start trying to take over again with direction.
Sure. Apex Legends, what? Who cares? Tetris 99 is in town, and I can't wait for it to just dominate the Battle Royale arena.
Weirdos.
Yeah. It's the best Battle Royale game. By far.
For weirdos, yeah.
For weirdos. My name's Dave.
I don't have it yet, so fuck you all.
It's free. Just go download it.
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry, you have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member. Are you?
Not yet.
Why? You get access to NES games that you can easily play through other methods.
Ask me the last time that I used my Switch.
Okay. Hey, Dave. When was the last time you used your Switch, man?
Like, last November.
Ah.
I've got The World Ends With You and the Pokemon Pikachu edition games to play. I haven't fired it up since November.
Well then.
So that's why I don't yet have the cheap subscription to Nintendo Online, whatever. I'll get to it when I get to it. Got other games ahead of it, like God of War. Oh, next. I don't know if you ever actually played the original Hollow Knight.
I've known of it for some time. You'd think I'd be all over it, but it's just never captured me. But I know of it. I know exactly what it is.
I mean, it is one of the harder Metroidvania style games I played in a long time. I mean, you talk about frame perfect moves, and you're talking Hollow Knight when it comes to fucking frame perfect stuff. So, Hollow Knight was supposed to have a DLC mini campaign based off of one of the characters you fight and fight along with in the game called Hornet.
Yeah.
Well, as they've been developing that, they realize that, there's just too much awesomeness here to put in. This is not its own mini campaign DLC anymore. This is its own fucking game. Which is hilarious because they said that once they were done with Hollow Knight, don't expect to see a sequel for at least 10 years kind of thing. And here we're already getting basically the sequel this quick. So that's awesome. I thought I would mention that on the podcast because Hollow Knight deserves all the press it can get for its quality and for the depth of the story if you actually look.
I've seen it being played, especially speedruns of it.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed by it. Me personally, I've never had the urge for it, but I'm sure we have some listeners who would love it. Is it on Switch?
I believe it is now.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. Now nobody has any excuse. Even the people who are like, I only play Switch. Well,
though I think between Celeste and Hollow Knight, I would say get both.
I mean, they're probably together are cheaper than a single
AAA
a Nintendo flagship, right? So
absolutely, and that brings me to you want to talk about DBZ Broly?
Yeah, originally we was going to talk about it back during the Vic Monona stuff because he plays Broly, but let's separate that from the actual movie. I saw it dubbed. Dragon Ball is one of those things I'll watch sub or dubbed, and I tend to prefer the dub. And I had a blast. I think it's easily the best Dragon Ball movie that I've seen. Not to mention the first one that's finally canon in and of itself, where they're not planning to reanimate it and put it into a series. It's just going to actually stand for whenever Dragon Ball Super continues. It had fantastic fight scenes. It reintroduced Broly, who was kind of this fan favorite but really shitty character before. And now the new Broly is just this big sweetheart with a rage issue that is much more believable and with a backstory that is a lot more tragic and makes him fit into the bigger world of Dragon Ball a little bit more. It expanded upon a ton of characters, including Frieza, who has just been a highlight since he's been brought back. It fucking gave Goku and Vegeta both moments time to shine. It reintroduced Gogeta into canon. It fucking didn't do the thing where Vegeta gets his ass kicked and Goku has to save the day.
Yep.
Vegeta got his ass kicked. Goku got his ass kicked.
Yep.
Then they both got their asses kicked. Then they had to come back as Gogeta in a real psychedelic over-the-top fight scene.
Which was awesome, yeah.
I could have done a little bit without two things. The first is there were various moments of the movie where they had the announcer, like, weirdly yelling out names and characters and whatnot, which was apparently motivated by, I guess, when Goku and Jiren were going to fight in the Tournament of Power arc, they advertised it in Mexico, and because Dragon Ball is huge in Mexico, and they had crowds cheering it on, so the Dragon Ball creators were totally influenced by that and wanted to put in the movie. Neat, I guess, just kind of distracting. The other is, I love Chilai. Did we really need to see so many shots of her ass?
Yeah, well.
Now, don't get me wrong. Chilai's hot. I showed you some Chilai cheesecake. But the first time, I was like, eh. The second time, I'm like, come on. The third time, I'm like, well, clearly we know why this character was made.
Yeah.
It's a shame, because she's awesome, and she's definitely more than her fan service. And I hope to see her again, honestly.
I was glad to see Broly reintroduced. Broly in the original movies, his whole hatred for Goku, or Kakarot as he always called him, was just simply because Kakarot cried in his crib beside him, and that was literally the only reason he wanted to kill Goku.
To paraphrase Dragon Ball Z Abridged, he cried a lot for like 3 hours.
Exactly.
But that's really dumb. But he's so cool.
So that was the height that Broly's character's motivations hit. So it's nice to see that Broly is actually a character now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're seeing Frieza understand that he can never actually reach Goku or Vegeta's level, and that he's going to have to be the conniving, behind the scenes trying to find ways to defeat them sort of villain.
Goku and Vegeta seem to believe Frieza can catch up still. And honestly, I think he can. I
think he can, but I don't think Frieza wants to put in that effort.
I don't know. I think he enjoyed it quite a bit in the Tournament of Power. He was easily the highlight.
The things that Frieza says in the Broly movie, though, gives me the impression that he's just like, you know something, I'm not going to put in the effort to defeat them myself. Oh, Broly, wow, you seem powerful. Okay, well, let's use you to try and get rid of my enemies. Because now Frieza realizes that there are peaks that even Goku and Vegeta may not be able to reach. And that if Frieza tries to use those people against them, he'll win without putting in the effort.
I like the planning of it, but I also took it to be that Frieza, this isn't just a scheme, right? Like, it doesn't mean he's going to stop his efforts to catch up to them or to surpass them entirely. It just means that this has happened. He was going to Earth anyway to wish to be 5 centimeters taller. Such a Frieza thing to do. And he's like, you know what? I wasn't even going to alert them to the fact that I was there, but now let's see how this plays out. It was almost curiosity.
They should really keep one of the Dragon Balls on them at all times so this shit can't happen.
I fucking love how he fucking kills Paragus to force the Super Saiyan transformation in Broly. He's like, oh no, he was hit by a stray blast. And then Goku and Vegeta leading the crazy Broly team. They're like, here you go, Frieza, bye! And he's like, wait, what? Oh!
Well, and this is where Frieza's strategy kind of doesn't make sense from a historical point of view. Frieza knows that they're not going to be easy to defeat.
Yeah, he does.
Frieza has also realized that as he keeps on throwing strong opponents against them, and they keep on winning, they keep on getting stronger. Therefore moving further and further away from his abilities. So, maybe he should try and, build a barrier around Earth kind of thing, so no more strong villains get there? Because he keeps on feeding bad guys into the meat grinder. They get more powerful. We're talking, it's getting to the point of being Sailor Moon again.
The problem...
I'm going to keep on sending my minions after you, one after another, in least powerful to most powerful, to power you up.
Now, in fairness, Broly's no Jedi. Broly is, I just found the Super Joker. Let's play it immediately.
But that's the problem. He didn't make friends with him, like Mr. Satan did with
Boo.
With Boo.
Yeah.
He basically tried to use him against Goku and Vegeta in the worst possible way. So now Goku has somebody who's more powerful than him that he can fight against without getting killed to power himself up.
Frieza, it's implied Frieza's going to try again, although Frieza arguably doesn't know Goku still kept contact with Broly.
But
I was going to say about Frieza two things. One, let's not deny Frieza's power. He fought the crazy Broly for 1 hour, while Goku and Vegeta had to practice and fail at fusion dancing. Yes, Whis helped, but come on, Frieza hung for a while, and Frieza has in the past resisted the Hakai, so Frieza's no joke, right?
No.
The other thing is building a barrier around Earth wouldn't really work when they literally have a god of destruction and the even more powerful angel that's that god's attendant on speed dial.
Okay, so maybe make it that if anybody comes into the Earth solar system that isn't, that Frieza knows, he's at least alerted so he can try and stop it.
Oh, he should keep tabs on Earth.
Yeah.
If Frieza was smart, you know what he'd do? He'd have an agreement with Goku to train periodically.
Goku would do it.
Goku would absolutely do it, and
Vegeta
Frieza would hate him for it.
Vegeta wouldn't.
Because Frieza's like, you idiot. You know what you did, Kakarot? You fucked us, Kakarot. How am I a better person than you, Kakarot?
But here's where Frieza, I think, is going to fuck up with Dragon Ball Super Season 2.
Sure.
Or Segment 2.
Whatever comes next, if they base it off what the manga's doing lately, which is a little interesting.
I don't know. I don't care.
You can go read it free on Viz's site.
Okay.
Yeah, go do it.
Really?
And they specifically say in that manga that it takes place after the events of the Broly movie.
Okay.
So, yeah, go read it, because there's cool scenes, like Vegeta talking about how he owes the people of Namek a debt and being a good guy. Because there's a new threat to Namek right now.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I mean, it's only the second time. That came out of my mouth and I realized how stupid it sounded, but I still said it anyway.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the second time. The first time led to their entire eradication and the planet being blown up.
It wasn't that bad. Boom! Yeah, exactly. It literally blew up the planet. I had to wish for a new one. Hopefully
Frieza has grown enough that he doesn't go down and kill the two with Broly.
Maybe. I don't want either Limo or Chilai to die.
That would be a stupid move, even for Frieza at this point. I'd like to think Frieza's grown beyond that, because Frieza would have to realize by killing them, Broly's coming for me.
I hope Broly doesn't get Yamcha'd. I hope that he stays important, because he's cool enough to do so. By the way, when I say Yamcha'd, I want to make clear what I mean. When I say Yamcha'd, I mean Vegeta's been Yamcha'd since Namek. That's what I mean by Yamcha'd. I don't mean killed immediately by a Cyberman, although that also can mean Yamcha'd.
See, when you talk about being Yamcha'd, I think of being so underpowered to become so obscure that you're not even worth having in show.
Yeah.
That's Yamcha'd.
Yeah, that's Yamcha'd. Yeah. Good for you, damn. Don't worry. Good one.
Thank you.
You did it. Great movie.
Oh yeah, no, it looked fantastic.
Yeah.
It definitely shows why they wanted to take time away from doing a TV series to do it justice.
Yeah.
So now they can... I hope they take about a year off from doing anything Dragon Ball related, come back refreshed for whatever they're going to do for a new Dragon Ball series, and be able to continue on, because they were burning themselves out.
Yeah, I agree. Especially after that shitty Tournament of Power arc that everyone in the world except me loved. And I hated with all my heart.
Overrated, long piece of shit.
Yeah, it was half of Dragon Ball Super, and it was easily the worst part.
Yeah.
There were good things about it.
Oh, there were individual fights that were neat. There were some strategies that were going on that were good. But like
Frieza was good.
My roommate's watching it in English.
Yeah, huh?
Only.
Yeah, huh?
So I mean, he's tried to ask a couple leading questions as far as whether Goku wins and wishes everything back.
And you totally told him that Goku wins.
No, I told him I'm just not telling you. He's like, well, that's an answer. I'm like, no, it's not.
Just tell him Goku wins and let the surprise happen.
Nah, not gonna be that nice. He still has to wait in there like 2 years until he gets to that point.
No, they're very close. Dragon Ball Super's only 121 episodes and they're already at like 99.
The tournament's barely started in the English.
99 is well into it. And no, it hasn't barely started. What's next on the docket?
Lastly, it was just we talked about Outer Worlds and its kind of jabs that they took at Bethesda as far as Fallout, them having been the previous Fallout developers and how they're making their game and it's going to be awesome compared to Fallout.
Yeah, I'm in on that action. Let's shit on Bethesda some more.
Well, they've actually come out and they've said recently to not dunk or shit on Bethesda. I guess they're willing to throw some barbs back and forth, but I guess things are getting kind of out of hand on...
Yeah, they don't want their fans being shitbirds, and
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes, and that's exactly where I was going with this, is they don't want that sort of negativity. Yes, they want to make a game that can show Bethesda how to make a game like Fallout, because they did make the best 3D Fallout game, New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Even after they were forced to launch it like 6 months early, kind of thing. But, yeah, I just wanted to call out the devs for that. Just good job. You can't take ownership of your fans' crappiness, but you can take a stand to try and tell them, hey, this isn't cool.
Agreed. That is a good thing. Good guys, Obsidian. Davaniel, we have been talking for like 3 days.
Feels like that.
It sure does. Folks, what did you think of anything we talked about? Leave us some comments. Leave us some messages.
Tune in next time.
Bye!
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Two Fat Guys Talk. The Sword vs. Moonrod art is by the talented Red Caliburn. Find her on Instagram and DeviantArt. RedCaliburn. Music tracks used were Bit Bit Loop and Good Nightmare by Kevin MacLeod, found at freepd.com. Be sure to visit our site at animerave.xyz for more of this podcast, and for Carlos and Dave Animerave, the best anime review and reaction show on the internet. If you like what you heard and can afford it, help keep us going by becoming a patron via the Patreon link on our site. If you can't afford it, no worries. Just spread the word. As always, thank you for listening.